incarnation is interesting is Sarvopanishado Gavo Dugdha Gopala. Then we say that Krishna is the Arjuna became the cow. Krishna is the cowherd. And then the milk which is coming out from the cow is the Vedas. And the milk is the essence of the Vedas. And something, calf also drinks and something is also given to us. So, calf, Arjuna is drinking the Bhagavad Gita, but that portion of it is also given to all the humanity. So now you see, then this will be contradictory. On one side, you are saying Bhagavad Gita, essence of the Vedas, and we are doing Gita course. How many Gita courses? You are doing number of Gita courses. Then Buddha came and said, I reject Vedas. So now there is a controversy, no conflict. So that's why this incarnation is very interesting. So any person who doesn't accept Vedas is called as atheist. Atheist means not one does not accept the God. Actually, the atheistic definition is one does not accept the Vedic scriptures. So that is the thing. So in one way, Buddha is telling, I won't accept the Vedas, but we are learning the essence of the Vedas. So why he has to do like that? This is an interesting thing. He has to do Pashu Ghatam. He is unable to see the pain inflicting upon the animals. That's why he said. But you see, animals are killed in the name of Vedas. That's why he has to tell, I reject Vedas. See, you are saying in the name of Vedas you are killing. Now I am saying I will not accept Vedas. But interesting thing is, people also accepted. If you reject Vedas, okay, we will also not accept Vedas. This is the first instance after Krishna's departure. Yudhishthir Maharaj was there, Parikshit Maharaj was there. What happened? For the first time, Vedas were out of the picture. Vedas were thrown out. And people accepted the word of the Buddhas. Maybe we have to tell children. So we don't have another room or someplace here. No, we have it. Yeah, for children there should be some different activity. They cannot here. It is difficult for them to focus. Maybe Panathur should get more space. Okay. What are we discussing? But first time Vedas are thrown out of the picture, and it is literally removed out of And later when Shankaracharya comes, Shankaracharya's spiritual master is Gaurpad. And there was no Vedas copy of the Vedas also. And Shankaracharya came and asked, I wanted to re-establish Vedas, what shall I do? Gaurpad said, you go inside the cave, there is a book which is full of dirt and it's almost torn also. You please go and get that. If you want to re-establish Vedas, you have to bring the Vedanta Sutra back. And so Shankaracharya did a wonderful service by bringing the Vedas. So today we will not go into that direction. So Buddha's influence was so much that Vedas were thrown out of Vedic culture and everyone accepted Buddha. That's why Prabhupada is talking about. He did such a wonderful thing. He cheated the people. Divutam Charyatam Bhagavad Gita says, among all the cheaters and the gambling, among all the cheating things. So when Krishna wants to cheat someone, no one can escape. And Buddha is the proof. And he wanted to cheat all the people, delude the people. You are killing animals in the name of Vedas. And now I'm saying I'm rejecting the Vedas. Everyone accepted. Can you imagine if I say reject the Vedas, no one will do that. But because he's the Supreme Lord, is Krishna himself, from whom Vedas come. From where Vedas came? Which shloka of Bhagavata talks about the Vedas, how Vedas descended? That is what is the question I'm asking, Matari? Which verse of Bhagavatam? Even Bhagavad Gita. I don't remember any Bhagavad Gita shloka says like that. From where Vedas came? Our Mariappan Prabhu has told. Krishna gave Brahma, but what is that verse? Very nice, Mataji. So, Janmadhyasya itarata sate shavibda swara tere Brahma Hridayadi Kavi Mudyanti Yet Surya. Krishna is telling, that first Vyasada is writing, first canto, first chapter, first shloka. He's telling that from where Vedas came, it is from Krishna, gave to Brahma. In the heart, he has given. Now, the same Krishna came and rejected the Vedas. So only Krishna will have that kind of potency to give Vedas, and even he will have that kind of potency to reject Vedas. That's why people are able to accept. Otherwise, it's not an easy thing to reject the Vedas. So that's what Buddha has done. This also proves that Buddha is a incarnation of the Lord. An incarnation of the Lord is invested with the potency of the Lord. Ordinary person cannot do it. So this is what it is. So Buddha came to stop the animal killing. So another interesting thing Prabhupada is bringing in this shloka is that the prediction of Bhagavatam. So when did Bhagavatam predicted appearance of Buddha? 5,000 years ago. But Buddha appeared around 2,600 years ago. So there's just one point which out of me. So from my childhood I saw, I just remember this point. So from my childhood I saw this, especially this, what do we say, it is called, because I'm from Telangana, in Telangana is filled with lot of Muslims. They do halal cut. You know halal cut? What is the halal cut? You see, the halal cut is animal is faced towards the direction of Makkah, and then they recite some prayers and they kill animal. And they also kill in such a way at one shot the animal has to be killed. Just like Brugari was doing half killing, but these Islam people, what do they do? They recite prayers and then show the animal toward the Makkah side and then kill. Actually, you see, the same Allah came as Buddha, or Buddha came as Allah. So obviously, Krishna cannot allow the animal killing happen. But no halal cut, it became a certification. Halal cut certification, without that certification, one cannot export the food items to the Islam countries. Means we are not even suggesting export of the food. That is a bad idea itself. Everyone has to. Proper idea is simple living and high thinking. The local sustainable community. For example, why this concept is important? Because if, for example, if this Melandur is sealed by government, how people will live? They cannot live off Bangalore. Just like in COVID it happened. So that's why this concept of exporting is bad. But what I'm trying to tell is, now this has become a certification standard, halal cut standard, but which is against the principle what actually propagated by Buddha. So this is what I want to just remember that. So this is a very bad idea that in the name of, just like here, the Brahmanas, they misused the Vedas to kill animals. So now in the name of God, Allah, they're actually misusing Quran. That's the important thing. So, so I was talking about the prediction of Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is such a spotless literature. Around 5,000 years ago only, this was predicted Buddha's incarnation. So what is that? Buddho Namranjana Sutaha. Buddha will appear as the son of Anjana. So, but Buddha came later, around 2,600 years later. That is from now 2,600 years back, Buddha came, and before that 2,400 years, Bhagavatam was spoken. So this is the prediction of Bhagavatam, the prophecy of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is not an ordinary literature. It even predicted about so many things also. Even now, it predicted about like Kalki also. Already, in my childhood, our in our village or town, we saw people worshipping Kalki, and I was thinking Kalki Avatar already came. No, even this is Tamil Nadu case, Amma Bhagwan and Kalki, but they have cheated. But Kalki has to wait, another 4,27,000 years have to go on for Kalki to come. That means people also cheat in the name of God. So the most cheating happens in the name of religion only. That's why people are losing faith. So it's a great responsibility on all of us. Why are we coming here? It is like a class only. What is there? A teacher, students. sitting and discussing. It's a class. But our ISKCON is a spiritual institute where we are actually teaching, giving message of the Lord. So it's a great responsibility on all of us to go through this purpose very nicely and share this message so that at least some people will be protected from such kind of cheating propensities. So predicted and became true. That's why Bhagavatam is a spotless Purana. So Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavam Priya. This is a very, very dear scripture to all of us, especially the Vaishnavas. It's a very, very dear scripture. So if we have actually want to associate with Krishna, one of the best ways to be with Bhagavatam and spend time with Krishna. When we are with Bhagavatam, we are actually with Krishna. So Idam Bhagavatam Nama Purana Brahma Samhita. Then Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi. This is composed by Vyasadeva. It is the Amal Puran. It is the Puran. What is meant by Puran? Puran. Huh? Puran is old. Like Puran Kapura. We also in English say Puran Kapura. Puran. But also Puran is actually supplementary to the Vedas. Vedas only gives the principles. To understand the Vedas, we need stories to apply the concepts. So that's why Vyasadeva has given everything. Principles also he is given, and the application also is given. Just like when we are talking about the pure devotional service, Bhagavatam has so many stories. How devotee has crossed the challenges and became a pure devotee, and Krishna appeared and gave darshan and face to face. Everyone wants to see God. But in Bhagavatam, there are so many pastimes, so many stories are there to prove this. That means it inspires us that we can also perform devotional service. We can also become a pure devotee and we can also have one-to-one darshan of the Supreme Lord. So this is a very, very special literature. This gives us an immense inspiration. So in our school, we read our history. But I never liked history. History has a geography, social studies has geography, history, civics, economics. And of course, the teachers who teach history are also very boring teachers. They don't teach properly. Generally, hardly anyone develops interest. I only see people develop interest in the history once they want to become a administrative servant, when they want to become an IAS officer. Then only I saw people take up history subject. Why? History is the easy subject in the IAS exam. But actually, this Mahapuran Bhagavatam is a very, very interesting history. Actually, Bhagavatam is a history. It's not mythology. Bhagavatam is a history. How? It has a recorded events from the beginning of the creation. If you see what is Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam is a recorded events. What recorded events? That Kalpa, what happened? That Manvantara, what happened? Chakshusha Manvantara, what happened? Vaivasvata Manvantara, what happened? So like that, there is a history of the kings. Surya Vamsha, Chandra Vamsha. If you trace back also, you still figure out all those kings existed and they did activities. So this is a recorded history. Unfortunately, in Bharatvarsha, in India, Bharat, we read the history of the attack of Mughals on us. How they have destroyed Vedic culture. Wow, wow. Everyone reads history. Such a wonderful history. How this Akbar, Bir Akbar and his son Aurangzeb, Humayun, how they have attacked, how they have destroyed our Vrindavan temples. But no one has a question. But so that's why there is a great necessity of this history also. So Bhagavatam is a nice history, which is also talking about Krishna, but it also talks about so many supplementary things. So there's a great need for this history. So it also talks about cosmology, it also talks about the prayers, it also talks about the beginning of the creation, where we are, even scientists are studying that, what is that? Big Bang theory. Bhagavatam talks about evolution, not the Darwin's evolution. Bhagavatam, we have evolution, so everything is there. So that's why Prabhupada used to say, this way today we are talking about the slaughterhouse, animal slaughterhouse. But we are also doing one slaughter of our children. Prabhupada says modern education is a slaughterhouse education, and we are sending all our children to this slaughterhouse. So we have to think about it. Our children, or even ourselves are polluted with modern education. So it's a tough thing whether we should go for modern education or not. But at least we should think about it that definitely this modern education is a slaughterhouse education. Just like Buddha has rejected the Vedas to establish non-violence. So we also have to think how to reject portion of the modern education system, either by teaching the children at home or otherwise. They will say how creation happened. We are saying Janma Taha, Krishna is the source of creation. Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, all the material spiritual words are coming from Krishna. And our child will say, no, Big Bang theory. So now there is a conflict for the children and they will not be able to differentiate. So it's we should do something, either selectively reject portion of it or do something preaching positively or ultimate ways to reject modern education. But it is a difficult thing. So, but what I'm trying to say, so just like Buddha has rejected, uh, because to establish one thing, other if you are not actually careful, then our children will also be, not only our children will also be polluted with those wrong concepts. I am saying if there is an evidence to such theories, no problem, but it's still a theory. Whether you take Big Bang theory, why are you calling theory if it is not true? Then why are, if it is a theory, if it is not proven, why are you actually propagating? Why are you actually teaching? In Bhagavatam, on the other hand, we are teaching what can be experienced, but all cannot be proved because our vision is very small. Even with the latest telescope, we cannot see everything. But this is a perfect thing. On the other hand, we don't believe this scripture, but we believe the modern science. Similarly, the Darwin's evolution theory, you are calling theory, but why are you still teaching that theory to the children when it is not proven? So that's why when someone says Bhagavatam is a mythology or mythology, this is going to, it's not a good word to be used. You are saying it is all fake. Someone has imagined, but it's not imagination. It is a recorded event, and there are predictions also. And what we are studying today is Buddha's prediction. So we have to be thoughtful about it. Devotee has to be thoughtful. So of course, all of you might have known about the Buddha story that how he became a Buddha. Of course, there's a little controversy also in this story, but still, nevertheless, the principle is very interesting principle. I personally has heard this story in my childhood, but I never reacted the way the Siddharth has reacted. His father understood that either he's become a great king or a great sannyasi. Then he thought, no, 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 let me do something. Let me give all luxuries. Wonderful damsels, young girls, all luxuries, no old man in that vicinity for him. But still, when he came out, first thing he saw, a sick person, a person with a disease, later a person with old age, a person who is on like a dead body. And he see all of them and he saw whether this will happen to me also. But we see so many times, I have learned this story also. I have seen so many of those such incidents from my childhood also, but that doesn't incite. But how come it, like, no, ignited into the mind of Siddhartha and that eventually led him to give up everything and become a sannyasi? This is what Bhagavad Gita is also speaking. Even though he has rejected the Vedas, the principle what is talking that actually what are the real problems of life? Janma Mrityu, Jara Vyadi, Dukkha Doshana, Darshana. But Buddha's case is so special that Buddha was able to understand this is really a misery. In life, we work for so many to resolve so many miseries. This may be the problem, that is the problem. But the root of the problems, no one focuses. What is the root of the problem? What Siddhartha has understood. Birth, death, old age, and disease. Janma Mrityu, Jara Vyadi, Dukkha Doshana, Darshana. So that's why an intelligent person will work on this problem. So the root of the problem is addressed. What will happen? All the other problems will also be resolved. What is the root of the problem? I am not this body. Of course, there is more root also, but I am just saying. I'm not this body, I'm the spirit soul. But all the problems that we face in our day-to-day life actually pertaining to the body. Either you take any problem pertaining to the body. Any problem you take, it is only related to the body. But what we are saying, we are not this body, we are the spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. That's why Rishabdev is telling, Don't waste this human form of life. Parabhavas tavad abodha jatam yavanna jignasata atmatattvam. Yavat kriya tavat idam manovai karmatmakam yena sharira banda. Parabhava. In Telugu also we use the same word. Parabhava. Parabhava means it's a defeat. Parabhavas tavad abodha jatam. The human form of life, it's a defeat when we doesn't inquire into the absolute truth. And inquiring into the absolute truth means what? Inquiring into his activities also. Today what we are doing? What we are doing? We are actually trying to understand the activities of Lord Buddha. That's what Rishikesh did. Parabhava savat abodha jatam yavanna jignasata atmatattvam. So we have to inquire into the absolute. Who am I? Who is the Lord? What is my relationship? Yavat kriya. Then karmatmakam yena sharira bandha. Till the time our mind is absorbed in the bodily related activities, fruitive activities, what will happen? Sharira bandha. Bandha means we will be bound again and again. Punarapi marana, punarapi janana. So he's telling that in the human form of life, this is the important here. That's what Gautam Buddha has shown. The root of the problems is Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi. That's why an intelligent person will work on these problems. Of course, Krishna has already given that solution. Mamupeta Punarjanma Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam Napnuvanti Mahatmana Samsiddhi. This is the solution. If you come back to me, you need not to come back again to this material world. So, this is very interesting. Another interesting thing, the Buddha's time, the 2400 years, the Vedic culture went. But later, the Vedic culture was broken. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna brings up the same topic. Anyone can correlate? What is the topic Krishna is bringing in Bhagavad Gita? The same way something is happened in Bhagavad Gita. Evam parampara praptam imam rajyasya vidu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, Arjuna, I spoke this knowledge 2 billion years ago to sun god, but it is Prabhupada is using very nice words. The purpose of Gita appears to be the last. Gita is there. It's not that Gita will be extinct. Even now we have 700 verses still intact. But the purpose of the Gita will be lost. So the same thing happened. Vedas were there, Vedic culture was there, but the purpose of the Vedas appeared to be the lost. That means people have, especially these Brahmanas, who only have the access to the Vedas. No one else used to read the Vedas. These Brahmanas, they have the access to the Vedas, and they started over the period of time. They started misinterpreting the Vedas. This is a great danger. Similarly, it will happen to ISKCON movement also. Prabhupada said, my books will be the law books for the next 10,000 years. That means toward the end of the 10,000 years, what will happen? Bhagavad Gita will be there. The purpose of the Gita will be lost. The same thing happened when Krishna spoke to Surya Bhagavan, Vivaswan. So that means what? Already 500 years, 550 years have gone out of 10,000 years, another 9,500 years. So we are all very fortunate we are in this golden age. Still, the purpose of the Vedas or the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita is revived back by later Vaishnavacharyas and now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada. Let me tell this parampara. It's a great, if you see the history, within 2,600 years, it took another 2,600 years, almost 3,000 years again to re-establish Vedas. But the problem is even now, Shunyavad is there, Mayavad is there, Vaishnavism is there. It's not only Vedic culture. That is the danger. Once gone, to revive it back, to re-establish back, it takes a lot of time and takes a lot of effort. But still, all of them will go together. That's why now I'm bringing the point. Proper Pranam Mantra. Every day, I don't know how many of us actually meditate on this mantra. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha. These are the two important words in this prayer. Shunyavad. Today we are discussing Shunyavad. So like many times, so I am part of one of the team where we ask the questions. Many times we ask the question, what is Nirvishesha, what is Shunyavad? Our devotees will not be able to answer this question because now, it's a problem with all of us that we are like a parrot. Something is given to us, okay, yeah, temple में आ जाओ, offer obeisance, नमो विष्णु पादाय विष्णु प्रेष्ठाय भूतले जीवते वेदांता, and then namaste saraswati. So we don't ask what is the initiation. Shunyavad. Shunyavad. Today Prabhupada is talking about that. Shunyavad. Voidism. Ultimately, everything is zero. Nirvishesha. We'll come back to that. Toward the end, please remind me. So, we'll also talk about Shunyavad also. But Prabhupada has done such a wonderful service to drive out, to preach, or to deliver the Western countries from these two bad ideas. What are the two bad ideas? Bad concepts? Shunyavad. Nirvishesh means Mayavad and Shunyavad. Buddhism and impersonalism, which is such a danger. But when it started, actually it started from Buddha. The first time when Buddha rejected the Vedas, now to re-establish, Shankaracharya has to manipulate and establish Mayavad, and then Vaishnavacharyas have to come one after another. Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, and then Nimbakacharya, finally Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come one after another. It took for them 3000 years again to re-establish, but all of them are going on still, even now, even after Prabhupada putting endeavor to drive them out, even though it's glorified by that, but still these two are there, Mayavad and Shunyavad. So it's not an incident. So this is how it started. So that means Bhagavad Gita message will also be lost over a period of time. So it is in our responsibility again that for the next 9500 years to understand the purpose of this message properly and then retain it and then carry it further. This is a great responsibility. Otherwise, what will happen? Later generation will misinterpret the Bhagavad Gita. So, Krishna is talking about this in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita also. There is a danger. If one reads Vedas, what is the danger is there? Misinterpret. The purpose of Vedas, Krishna has to tell again in 15th chapter, but generally there is a chance of misinterpreting. So, I have my personal example. I approached one of my colleagues. Can you please take Bhagavad Gita? His name is Arjun. I don't know whether I told you here previously or not. His name is Arjun. I thought his name is Arjun. He will take Bhagavad Gita. Krishna's message, it may be easy for him to take Bhagavad Gita. But what happened? They asked him. I said, no, first I want to read Vedas. Then only I will read Bhagavad Gita. Later I understood, if one reads Vedas, first of all, one is not qualified to read Vedas by doing software job. Where is the time? Even if it is qualified, where is the time? So, but let's say, even if it's qualified to read the Vedas, but what this is telling in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling is, you will misunderstand. What is that verse Krishna is telling? I was thinking, why suddenly Krishna is bringing the topic of misinterpretation of Vedas in Bhagavad Gita? Because second chapter is what? Summary, essence. If you read second chapter properly, you will understand the summary of the Vedas. What is that words? Yamima pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipastita vedavada rataparta nanyat astiti vadina kamana swargapara. So what they understand? If one reads Vedas directly, what they will understand? Nanyat astiti vadina. Only purpose of the Vedas is what? Do some fruitive activities and then go to Swargaloka. For what? For enjoying. So you see, Krishna is condemning, is not condemning the yajna, sacrifices recommended in the Vedas, but the misrepresentation or the misinterpretation of the sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas. And even Krishna, not only Buddha is condemning, rejecting, Krishna is also saying this is a wrong understanding. That's why Vedas are like a dense forest. If one enters into dense forest without having a proper route to exit, what will happen? One will enter and lost. So similarly, that is happened. So that's why it is a bad idea to read Vedas. Rather, it's a good idea to read Bhagavad Gita and then read Vedas. That's why Krishna is telling many of you have quoted the shloka. Vedasya sarve ahameva. The purpose of the entire Vedas is not to perform yajna to go to the Svargaloka, but rather the purpose of the Vedas is to know Krishna. So this is a that means even a great Brahmanas also, great rishis also, they get bewildered when they start reading Vedas. And we are very fortunate. We are not qualified. We have not read, and there is no access to the Vedas, and I don't know Sanskrit also. And we are fortunate to be in touch with Prabhupada that he has made our life easier. You do this. And this is the essence of the Vedas. Now we are doing reverse engineering. Okay. Now I understood this, what Vedas are talking about. Now it's a good strategy actually for Kali Yuga people. If you go the other way, there's a great danger. You may feel you are religious, but you are actually killing yourself only. You are misguiding yourself. That's why we are very grateful to Prabhupada was given the essence very nicely. So the purpose of the Vedas. That's why Buddha has to reject. No, you are saying you are killing animals in the name of Vedas, but I reject altogether Vedas only. No Vedas, no animal killing, no sacrifice, done. Now you follow me. That's why he cheated the people and they followed Buddha. That's why he is a Vyutam Charatamas. He is the greatest cheater. No one can cheat Krishna. We can also not cheat Krishna. Like for example, I have taken a vow. I am saying, I am chanting, but I am not chanting. I have taken already a vow. I have taken a vow. But we cannot cheat Krishna. Krishna will cheat us. Krishna will send so many difficult, you are wasting your time. You are not using time in my service. Let me cheat you. You are cheating me. Or actually, you are cheating my devotees. You are cheating Prabhupada. So that's how. So, yeah. So, we have so much to discuss on Buddha's topic also. So, but one interesting thing Prabhupada is talking about is the conversation between Chand Kazi and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, Chand Kazi questions Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that you are saying animal killing is prohibited, but Vedas are encouraging animal killing, cow killing. Forget about ordinary animal. Vedas are saying cow killing. Vedas are telling cow killing. How is it that? Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, actually it is not a killing. Actually, in animal sacrifice, a old animal is chosen, a perfect Brahmana is chosen, and then when the animal is cut and put into the fire, immediately in front of everyone, that Atma, that living entity, will get transferred to the new body, and then everyone will understand the efficacy of the mantras. But in Kali Yuga, it's all rejected. Kali Yuga, what is that? Ashwamedam, Gavalambam, Sannyasam, Palapaitrikam, Devarena, Sudotpatti, Pancha Vivarje. All these are rejected. Ashwamedha sacrifice, Gavalambam, cow sacrifice, and there are other three things also. So this is not allowed in Kali Yuga. Only thing that is allowed in Kali Yuga is what? Sankirtan Yajna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is also very interesting that in fourth canto of Bhagavatam, if you see, this Narad Muni is preaching to who? Prachina Barishad. Prachina Barishad is the father of Prachetas, 10 sons. They are the glorious sons of Prachina Barishad. Narad Muni is telling, oh Prachina Barishad, see on the top, you have performed so many sacrifices, but all of them are not delivered. Now you see, they are all waiting for you. And then Narad Muni shows all the animals who were butchered, who were killed, who were sacrificed in that Vedic yajna, they were all waiting for you. And then really Prachina Barishad sees. Of course, later that Puranjana story comes and everything. That means Vedic sacrificing animal in the Vedic yajna is a great danger. It's a danger because if something is not done properly, perfectly, what will happen? The person who is the owner or who has done that sacrifice will be responsible for killing that animal. So animal killing is not encouraged; it is rather discouraged. Only in special cases, if one is not able to control the tongue, what happens? Then you can take the animal to the on the Amavasya day to the Kali who is outside the village, and then you tell Mam Saha, I am killing you. Then in my next life, you kill me. Otherwise, it is not allowed. And that now, while I was coming to Panathur, I saw two places. And near Panathur, there is a fish market. And near in our ACS road, I saw they were downloading, or actually from the truck they are taking hens. I was thinking today I'm going to talk about Buddha. I just came across this animal killing. Oh, we have a great service to do. When can we actually stop animal killing? This is going. It seems to be a impossible task. Animal killing. So, but animal, because this breaks the principle of mercy, and without having the quality of mercy, one cannot progress in Krishna consciousness. So now I'm coming to the last core portion of Buddhism. Buddha said animal killing stop. So now what Buddhism philosophy as a philosophy? We have a Vaishnavism as a philosophy. What Buddhism is a philosophy? They have a there are the four noble truths of Buddhism. What are the four noble truths? Ahimsa Parama Dharma is a principle they follow, but the four noble truths are they accept dukkha, the suffering exists. And then the next one is called samudaya. What this is samudaya means? The root cause of suffering. What is the root cause of the suffering? Desire. And the third thing is nirodha, how to end the suffering. What is that mechanism they follow? Empty the mind of all the desires. I will come back on this little because now we are already 12:15 almost reached. So, and the fourth thing is what? Magga. Magga means in our Sanskrit terminology is what? Abhideya. Most of you must have heard Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan. Abhideya is the process. So there is a misery. What is the root cause of the misery? How to end the misery? And what to follow to the end the misery. This is the four noble truths which Buddha, after he became enlightened, he gave that. Of course, the process also they have eightfold path. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about Ashtanga Yoga as part of Dhyana Yoga, 8 limbs. Buddhism also has 8 limbs, eightfold path. So now the question comes: that Buddhism is not a proper philosophy; it has so many flaws. Whether can we empty the mind of all the desires? Desire is the root cause of the suffering. Whether can we empty the mind of all the desires? It's difficult. It is not possible. So that's why Buddhism is a flaw. Also, Buddhism does not talk about the soul. Buddhism does not talk about God. Buddhism only talks about how to end the suffering. What is the way? Empty the mind. It is like Prabhupada gives in a lecture. You have a building, and government is asking you to pay tax. So now what you do? Instead of paying tax, you say dismantle the. You have heard the lecture? Dismantle the building. What will happen? No building, no tax, and no pain. Buddhism is like that. So desire is the root cause of suffering. What you do? Empty the desire. So now what Vaishnavism says here, our Gaudiya Vaishnavism, any Vaishnavism says, yes, we also accept dukkha, suffering exists. The root cause is desire, but the mechanism is different. We don't say empty the mind. As long as the living symptoms are there, soul is full of, it's a conscious being. It cannot be emptied from the desires. So now our way of handling this is we empty the material desires, but not only that, we fill with spiritual desires. And every day we sing one spiritual desire. What is the spiritual desire we sing? Nadanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam, va jagadishatam, mama janmani janmani share, bhavata. So material desire means what? I need dana, nadanam. We are saying nadanam. That means we are emptying our mind from material. Na janam. I don't want follower, but it is someone respects us, we feel very nice. It's a natural tendency. But we said no, na janam, na sundari. I don't want means beautiful, right, good husband. Na sundari, kavita, no followers. But what do you need? Krishna is Mama Janmani, Janmani. I want birth after birth, we are devotional service. So our way of handling thing is we are emptying the mind from dirty desires, but filling our mind with the spiritual desire. So that's why Buddhism, even though it's the fastest growing religion, it is appealing to the people. It is not a good philosophy. In the name of religion, it is not a religion because there is no God. But so many people like to follow Buddhism. Why? Because it is very appealing. Because it involves you need not to surrender to God. You can follow meditation. You do meditation, you will be free from all the material desire. So that's why Buddha's incarnation is little bewildering incarnation, and so many things to speak about. But now let us again hear this prayer. What is the glorification Jayadeva Goswami said? Indasiyajna videraha shruti jatam sadaya hridaya darshita pashubhatam केशवधृता भूतशरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे. So Buddha is the incarnation of God. Otherwise, how would he have rejected the Vedas and people have accepted him? But Krishna is so merciful. He didn't want to allow animals to be killed who are actually like our brothers. He did not want them to be killed unnecessarily. And to stop the animal killing, he came to show the mercy and he came as Buddha avatar. And that's why, because mercy is one of the prerequisites to progress in Krishna consciousness. This is one of the qualities. What is the one of the good qualities? Daya. That's how in Krishna conscious principles we follow four regulative principles. One of them is no meat eating, which actually if we eat meat or any of the related things, which actually breaks the one of the pillar of dharma, which Lord doesn't want to do that. So that's why Buddha came to stop this killing, to so that the further path can be paved for the God realization. The purpose of Krishna to do anything is to benefit conditioned souls so that we all become God conscious and we show our face towards the God, Krishna, and perform devotional service. For that, Krishna will do all activities. Of course, there are some internal reasons, but one of the external reasons is always this reason that how he can benefit all the conditioned beings. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So we are all connected to Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. We all should feel grateful that all our misconceptions can be removed in this path. We can be filled with proper concepts, and then eventually we can develop our love for Krishna, which is the purpose of the Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So I don't know if you have any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the wonderful lecture. So how much we hear, how much we preach, as soon as we see cockroach